Hello everybody and welcome back to Hajime and learning the secrets about the first game that he doesn't know, but I know because I played the first game.
Also back to, man, this soundtrack just like soundtrack before was good, but I'm digging this.
You're digging the high octane
guitar
and
the 80s rock drama music. Also, I love the fact that it's like the universe is finally confirming what we knew, that everything was weird, that we just had to act like it was normal and deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I don't think the game tries to hide that it's kind of a simulation for most of it, or I use simulation in quotations because we, like, don't know the true truth of what's going on. But we do know, like, at the very beginning, we went through that door that was very computerized aesthetic, and, like, things happened. So it kind of gave you, like, at the very beginning, like, hey, something's clearly not, like, normal.
Yeah, but the problem is the game, your character at least keeps trying to, like, okay, I have to readjust to and treat this like it's normal. Don't get too complacent, people are still dying, but I have to just, deal with it like it's anything else.
Yeah.
Which, now we can say, okay, you know what? Dead pixels in the sky. We're good now.
Yeah, like...
Now the crazy can be out.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because it's a very different, it's different from the first game in that the first game, right, the whole mystery is like, what the heck is going on to begin with? And you walk into Hope's Peak Academy, and then suddenly you wake up and you're in a classroom. So it makes sense that you went in, something happened, now you're stuck inside there. So your first thought isn't necessarily, oh, I've spent a year at Hope's Peak Academy and all those memories were taken from me and now there's a tragedy and, everything that actually happened. But, like,
now it's
this is very tonally different, because at the very beginning it was like, nope, this is weird. Jabberwock Island, not normal like Jabberwock Island. Here's Hope's Peak Academy, but a ruin. Like, there were so many odd things just placed there.
I mean, really, Titty Typhoon.
Yeah, the Titty Typhoon
cannot exist in reality.
Exactly. So.
And if there is a real place on Earth called Titty Typhoon, I don't know, someone let me know so I can get some tickets.
But now we can continue exploring throughout the rest of the floors. Huh? It changed to a different hallway again.
Let me go back to lines. Huh?
It's so sudden. What's going on to make something like this happen? That's totally not normal. It's like magic, but I can't believe in magic.
See, like this stuff. Like, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to handle this like a rational thinking. No, be surprised. Be upset. That's what this is for.
You know what? But at this point, he's probably doing the most, like, good, like, I don't know, best strategy for survival at this point.
Just head down, next step forward?
Yeah, kind of like, if you're put into a situation where nothing makes sense and, like a Saw situation, or any situation in a movie horror, or, like, the best people who live through it are the people who just, like, stop and are like, fine, it's weird, I'm accepting it, like, not gonna be surprised, I'm just gonna have to deal with whatever the frick this is now. So, he's using traits of survivalists.
Sure.
That's right, there's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. Chem Labs stopped. I'm not as familiar off the top of my head with this floor. Hi, Akane.
Do you want to talk to Kane or no?
No, I kind of want to get to... I just kind of want to breeze through all this part.
Okay.
Not, like, because I want to get through it, like, super fast.
The music room.
This wasn't in the last game. Well, it was for, like, one scene. It was very brief. This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange, like a floating obelisk.
But I thought Moses shattered them at the base of the mountain. It's a monument to the Hope's Peak Academy.
Looks like it's some sort of monument. Why would there be a monument in a music room? And
why is it floating?
Why is it glitching out of existence? I don't have time to answer those questions. And not just that, the mark engraved into the monument is the symbol of the Future Foundation, right? Below that symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. What?
Okay, so we were right there, they're the survivors.
We were right. Huh? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy. Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma, he completely made it up.
What?
He lied to me. He lied. Hologram. What is this? Words are floating in the air. I've never seen anything like that. This is a hologram, right? The floating letters are forming a sentence. It looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information. A person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by the ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them, it's a worst-case scenario. We must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origin, and we haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. Survivors of Hope's Peak Academy. 15 students? Is that about us? The 15 students who survived Hope's Peak Academy?
How about we just press A and find out?
Excluding Chiaki, who was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but what does survivors mean? Do they just... Chiaki isn't even the ultimate gamer, she's just some random girl who was playing, like, on her Game Boy SP, and they just picked her up and like, hey, you want to change the world?
You want to know my honest thought?
What?
If this is a simulation, she's just an AI.
Well...
She's a program.
Yeah, but like...
Is she modeled after the original Ultimate Gamer?
What does survivors mean?
Did they upload her consciousness into the interwebs and now we have Chiaki 2.0?
That would be funny if there was a program, like, once you beat the game, it sends you to, like, a sketchy website. It's like, download Chiaki now! It's like they're talking from some other world!
Only available on Switch Lite.
What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore. Maybe.
What?
I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost.
Hope High School. Oh, I didn't notice. The logo for it was the pen and then Monokuma's eye.
Yes. I guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed. The Future Foundation is on our side, at the least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy, and they took us in to protect us. And we repaid them
by killing each other.
By killing each other and killing off the kind teacher they left to us after calling her a traitor the entire time. But if that's true, Chiaki should have just made that clear to us. I mean, they could have just told us. No, as long as Monokuma was around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. It's not like we would have killed each other or anything. Monokuma, if he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
But where does Izuru come back into this?
The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko and Oshima and are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island mentioned in the email? What's that about? The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin that totally didn't look like Hope's Peak Academy.
You mean the one that we're supposedly in right now?
There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, there should have been other Future Foundation members here.
Look, when does Morpheus give us the drugs and let us come out of the sleep?
Yeah, come on, Morpheus, we're waiting for you.
Come on, Morpheus, I got cash. Just back alley, let's go. Give me the pills.
Somehow there are still so many mysteries. But not in this music room. We're done here. I wonder why I came out sideways. Anyway.
Yeah. Huh. Oh well. Ooh.
Alright.
See, this is a sick guitar lick.
It really is. I'm glad that as we stumble to find our way,
Office?
you guys can listen to the sweet, dulcet tones of hard rock. List of subjects! And it's that creepy professor again! He's back!
The ghost of a Revolutionary War colonel just happens to be. Also, look at all the flowies.
It's like, it reminds me of that one scene in Harry Potter where they all go.
The mandrakes?
Yeah, they pick out the mandrakes. We're just gonna pick out the mandrake and just knock Soda out right now.
We need to finish this game as soon as possible. Because I need better answers to the questions why everyone loves Nagito as much as they do, and why, for some reason, I keep seeing fan art of Nagito next to Sans. Do they fit the same role? Do they both just have good hoodies? Why?
Look, I don't think you're gonna find the answers in this game, and honestly, I don't think you're gonna find the answers anywhere other than Tumblr. Anyway, this feels different from a classroom.
Maybe. It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room has that stuffy teacher vibe to it. Except for, the giant metal plates on the wall.
The office, huh? Now that you mention it, it does look like that, and it was labeled office on the outside of the door.
Well... More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere.
How much longer is this guy gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already. I already have her panties. How much more do you need to see?
Oh, less. The answer is less.
There are letters floating in the air, like in the music room earlier. Looks like a passage from an email someone wrote. I think it's the same one from earlier. I guess I should read it.
We understand this matter regarding the survivors. In order to safely acquire them, please do your best and continue your investigation. However, you must exercise extreme caution concerning the remnants of despair. Even though they have lost Junko and Ashima, the fact remains that they are incredibly dangerous. Even after her death, the tragedy has not ended. Perhaps there is still a leader on par with Junko and Ashima. As long as we do nothing about the remnants of despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the remnants of despair must be immediately eliminated once they are discovered. Everything is for the sake of a shining future.
Immediately eliminated! Does that mean this is an order to kill them?
Let's go.
That doesn't sound peaceful at all!
I know where a tank is. Let's go.
Well, I guess that's understandable. If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is as terrible as it sounds, where it can be called the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history...
I love that they need that every single time.
Yeah, it's pretty much all out war!
A better game would have just called it The Event.
Well... I think that's the joke, darling. I think the joke is they never tell you exactly what the tragedy is, really, but it just said it's the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
They can Calvin and Hobbes noodle incident, where you can just okay, we're just going to refer to it as the thing. And we can learn more about the thing. We have to know the thing.
That's not as funny as making it, it's the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human... That's sounds like something a 12-year-old would use to describe something. He's like, oh my god, guys, I'm going to plan the biggest, most wonderful, most...
But imagine if they kept calling that birthday party the biggest, most wonderful, most awesome birthday party ever when they were 38. That's what this is. Which I guess is kind of funny, but still.
If the remnants of despair are the ones waging that war, there's no way they'd be forgiven that easily.
Despair High School?
Hope. Despair!
Equal measure.
Flowers on top of the desk.
We must bring balance back to the despair and hope.
Plus, they look strange to me. Or are my eyes just tired, or do they look like they're pixels?
They're Minecraft flowers. We brought them into real life.
Huh? There's something written on the blackboard. What's written here?
They just wrote down the ultimate imposter, not their name.
Kyoko. List of subjects is written on the blackboard in large letters, but just below that are names I've seen before. Because it's all of us!
Don't see anything else unusual with it. There's newspaper posted on the blackboard below that.
Wait a minute.
Wait, That's Fuyuhiko's little sister.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
I
mean, it's also very clearly older Hiyoko, but it looks exactly like Fuyuhiko's little sister. Maybe I'm just seeing it. Okay.
It might be. I don't know. There's a newspaper posted on the blackboard. Below that, Hiyoko Sayanji's written there. What is this newspaper?
Nope, it is just Hiyoko. Okay. They look very similar.
That's not Hiyoko, though. Or at least that's not the Hiyoko we know.
Yeah.
What is this? It says Miss Hiyoko Sayanji, but this can't be the same Hiyoko, right? I mean, the Hiyoko we knew was, like, tiny. She was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much her defining feature. But the photo in this newspaper, in a way I can see the resemblance to Hiyoko, but her height and figure, it's too different from the Hiyoko we knew. What does this mean?
When is it dated?
Huh?
This lady looks pretty mature. Is she Hiyoko's older sister or something?
No, it says Hiyoko Sayanji here.
Oh, then Hiyoko has an older sister with the same first and last name.
An older sister with the same first and last name? That will never happen!
Yeah,
she says as she laughs, knowing one person who has definitely had that happen in their life. One of your groomsmen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they all have the same name.
Yeah.
3 of them, actually.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Different circumstances. I was gonna say, yeah, you have that because you have a kid, and you really like the name, but you're disappointed in the kid. So you have another kid a couple of years later, and you're like, okay, you're gonna have that name, and we're just gonna ignore the first one.
That sounds deeply traumatic.
I mean...
Anyway.
It sounds like an anime plot point, though. That's the only explanation, right? I mean, look at it for yourself. That's not Hiyoko.
But did you ever hear her mention an older sister?
Man.
Well, it's not like I was that close to her or anything.
Wrong.
She doesn't have an older sister. Hiyoko is the Sayanji family's only daughter. If she doesn't have a sister, then a relative? No, there's still too much of a resemblance.
What are you saying?
That's Hiyoko.
Huh?
Of course not.
What are you saying? Hiyoko doesn't have a curvy body like this.
Soda! I mean, I guess it's kind of helpful, but Soda, no! Bad boy.
I mean, she was famous for her childlike figure. She got away with all kinds of crap for looking like that.
Well...
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she had a growth spurt.
What are you saying? She's dead!
You know those
Post-mortem growth spurts? She's already dead! There's no way she could have had a growth spurt!
Today, I'm
Well.
feeling white.
Regardless, all the clues I've provided are true. If they weren't, it wouldn't be fair.
What's going on?
What the heck? This is the truth?
If this is the truth, then the Hiyoko in this newspaper... Is he really saying this is the same person? Maybe the person in real life, whereas we're in a computer simulation? That's impossible! I mean, how can there be a photo of a grown-up Hiyoko and she's already dead? Why does this even exist?
Hey.
Could it be related to that list of subjects over there?
Huh?
This is bad.
If it says subjects, maybe it means there was some kind of experiment, right?
Are we all clones?
Is this just Clone High?
Clones!
Did that experiment change Hiyoko's body? Oh, what am I saying? Just saying it out loud makes it sound messed up. What experiment?
If it's some kind of experiment, it would mean that we're also test subjects, right? But I haven't developed a curvaceous body, so I think we're good.
No, but maybe I am much more of a protagonist than I once was.
It means our names are also written on the blackboard under the list of subjects. But what kind of experiment was it?
What's going on?
What's going on? Better not have anything to do with time travel. Oh, it's all time travel. Oh, you wanna go to Headmaster? Does that clock not have any hands?
Nope. An extremely overwhelming portrait is hanging on the wall. Feels like I've seen it before, but the name etched into the placard says, Izuru Kamakura.
Is that the Izuru?
No. He can't found Hope Speak Academy, but also be a product of Hope Speak Academy.
Maybe this is the new Hope Speak Academy.
Maybe he was named after this guy.
That would make more sense.
The founder of Hope Speak Academy, and this name is Izuru Kamakura. Doesn't this clearly contradict the information I obtained earlier? Dang it, another mystery! Is this guy really important? Have we been making jokes about this old dude staring at us in the corner, and it turns out he's actually vital to the plot?
Yes, the ultimate genius is actually someone cosplaying as Werner Herzog, so... Okay, with this you've totally erased all the flags on this floor. But we haven't learned about the clock with no hands. Fine. Congratulations, Hajime. You shall now go on to the next stage.
Next stage!
When you walk outside, it's going to be floor 3.
Floor 3! Floor 3! Yeah! Dang it, not again! This is always different from the last time. I guess when that flag Monokuma mentioned is raised, I moved to a different hallway than the last. But how can he do that? Is it magic? Is he a wizard? No, now's not the time to be confused by that. Thinking about it is just going to waste my energy. But clearly he's a warlock who's gotten his powers from an evil patron.
I was thinking he's probably part of the Unseelie Court. The Dark Fae, right?
Perhaps. It does fit his trickster aesthetic.
This is like the world's worst camouflage wallpaper. The rec room.
To the rec room.
What happened in the rec room? Did somebody get wrecked? By that I mean, did someone get killed?
Yes.
Oh man, Hiyoko got bodied.
The answer is this is where Sakura died.
Oh. She was my favorite.
I know.
I haven't seen any of the last game, but I like Sakura.
Well, she died here. There's a billiard table, a dartboard, and a shelf lined with magazines. It's hard to think that a room like this actually exists inside a school. Why is it floating? Nobody knows. It's a file with Hope Speak Academy's seal on it. It says confidential, Arf. That means this is a big secret, right? Why would an important document be here?
Ooh, are they playing? Is that Go or Othello? I think it's Othello.
Why am I even asking a question like that? Obviously, Monokuma is responsible.
Shouldn't that black piece be turned white at that point? It's surrounded by 2.
Not if the black piece was just placed.
It couldn't have been. Oh, I guess they could have placed those at an angle, I guess? I don't think you can place a diagonal in Othello. I haven't played it in a couple years.
Look, man, I don't know. I'm just here to confirm what's inside the file.
Look, I'm here to establish that the world is weird, and that is helping.
About the Hope Cultivation Plan. For many years, Hope Speak Academy has conducted rigorous research into various talents. The
You want me to?
The Hope Cultivation Plan seeks to use the fruits of our labor to further our true goal. With our hands, we will birth a true hope that will bring hope to the entire world.
Can I just throw something out there? Unless you were talking about a living thing being a living creature being born into this world, please stop using birth. I birthed an idea. No, don't need to. It's not worth it. With with our hands, we will birth the ultimate hope. No, you don't need to use that. It's just stop.
I can agree with you on that. I'm also not a fan of using the word birthed in non-birthing situations. Truly, the program is the next innovation in providing the ultimate education. This plan has been the Academy's wish since its foundation, so we must succeed at all costs. What followed was a series of detailed instructions and intricate orders. It was full of difficult technical terms, and I had no idea what any of them meant. However, the word true hope left a strong impression on my mind for some reason. It made me think of my lost love, Nagito. I miss him. The Hope Cultivation Plan was created for the sake of birthing true hope. Hope Speak Academy was behind something like that? I don't really get it, but there's something about these words. They sound like words. True hope, huh? It's not like I haven't heard that like 12 times in the past 30 minutes.
Man, this is gonna be a weird trial. Alright, so hologram, floating pool table.
This hologram again. What's this one say? It looks like another email passage.
Regarding the report we gave the other day, we finally succeeded in acquiring them and placed them in our care. Though they were all dispersed, we were successful in acquiring all 15 of them. Due to the fact that we were unable to ask them about specific details, it is unknown how they managed to survive the tragedy.
The tragedy.
It's been reported that some are wounded, so it seems certain they have survived in harsh conditions. Over the course of our detailed investigation, we determined that they are the same age as the others, so we decided to entrust them to the survivors of the killing school life. As for the remnants of despair, there are still no solid leads regarding this matter, and we have no new information to report. We'll continue with the investigation. Once they are discovered, we shall eliminate them immediately. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. The greater good.
The greater good. Level up.
Updated.
It says here that they succeeded in acquiring them and placed them in our care. That means we should have been protected by the Future Foundation, right? Oh my gosh, is that what this all was? When they said they were protecting us at the very beginning of the game, they were actually protecting us? Then why is this happening? If the Future Foundation was protecting us, why were we forced to kill each other on this island? Well, I guess it's not possible that the Future Foundation set this all up.
What's this?
My, Hajime, if you keep worrying like that, you're gonna get a toothache and collapse.
It's your fault! What is this hologram thing anyway?
Hey,
It's exactly what it looks like. They're the Future Foundation's emails. Wait. Post-apocalypse. World is destroyed. Less than 100 survivors have gathered together and made the Future Foundation. They still have email running?
Emails are gonna last beyond humans, man.
They have the internet infrastructure and the energy infrastructure and the devices needed to do email as the most reliable source of communication?
Man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what kind of apocalypse this is. Oh, sorry. Did you not read that? I thought you
No.
did. Oh, well here.
No, it doesn't matter. It's fine. I thought they made the perfect clues. We did a little bit of hacking here and there to get them.
You can even do that? Whoever's controlling you seems to possess many talents.
Huh.
no.
Huh. Where have I heard that before? I don't know. Well, who cares about me anyway? That's not important at all.
I care about you, Monokuma. In a totally platonic, I'm going to kill you one day kind of way.
Yes, that's totally how I feel about you as well. No matter what comments say.
There's no way that's not important. His true identity should connect everything to what's happening right now. Turns out I was Nagito the entire time. It's a nice, firm-looking leather sofa. It looks like it'd be comfortable for anyone to sleep on. Permanently.
My mind is broken by the internet. I saw that, and I could swear that said Bofa. I need help.
There's a lot of different magazines here. Fashion, motorcycles, how to help Darling with his internet addiction, martial arts, sports, computer travel. There's even a magazine about cameras. Mahiru would have been happy to see this.
Darts table? No, not the... Yeah, just darts. There's no table for darts.
There's a dartboard, but this is still a school, right?
It's the ultimate school.
Or did Monokuma just randomly make this place?
Yeah, we're not gonna ask why there's liquor on the table over there.
Oh, that's uncomfortable. Looks like I'm in a different hallway again. I'm pretty much used to this by now. Even so. What is this space? Am I dreaming or something?
Do you see the numbers?
I see the numbers, Mason.
What do they mean?
I mean, this is just totally disconnected from reality. And also, I hate walking upside down. Oh boy. Akane! Akane, you're dying! Akane!
We're talking to this Akane.
It's very close. Someone is coming. Akane is twitching her nose and examining her surroundings.
Based on my gut feeling.
They're really close. Definitely really close. At least, that's what my gut is telling me. Then answer this with your gut. Is it an enemy or an ally? Let's see. My gut feeling is...
They're both.
Yo.
He's right. They're both. Both? What do you mean? I don't know any details. It's just my gut after all. Well, that's true, I guess. You see, when an enemy is nearby, my gut produces more acid than usual, and I get hard acid reflux.
And an ally. Huh.
Nagito.
Chiaki?
Monami.
Dumbledore. Ron. Where are we going?
I don't know. I was able to navigate the other floors because I had played the game before, but upside down is a little different and it's a little harder to comprehend and put together. I can't even...
Also, it's not like we're walking on the ceiling. We're still walking on the floor. Our eyes are just upside down. But somehow still properly... Oh, there we go. The library.
The library? The biblioteca! Oh good, we're right side up again. This must be This must be a library. Monokuma probably left something here too. I should hurry up and find it.
Better.
This hologram again.
This is your thoughts. You can say those loudly.
It must be another one of the Future Foundation's emails. I should read it. There's no doubt that it's another clue.
To the Future Foundation 14th Division, Makoto Naegi. Is that the first game protagonist?
Yes, it is.
Where are you guys? What are you doing right now? What you're doing is a serious act of treason. Do you understand? Why are you protecting the remnants of despair?
Makoto, what did you get up to?
It should be abundantly clear to you how dangerous it is to keep these people alive. Stay calm and think about this carefully. You guys are being lied to. Think carefully about what's important to bring the light of hope to the world. The 6 of you joined the Future Foundation because you agree with our ideals, right? 6 original students, I guess?
Yes.
The Future Foundation rescued you from the tragedy you survived and cooperated with recovering your memories. Immediately return the remnants of despair to our headquarters. Unless we eliminate them, the tragedy will never end. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope.
What? What does this mean?
I think it's a catchphrase.
This email suggests that someone was trying to let the remnants of despair escape. This email is addressed to Makoto Naegi? But he's with the Future Foundation, right? Then why was he trying to protect the remnants of despair? Did he betray the Future Foundation?
I wonder, would you be considered... Well, no, you wouldn't. Because the reserve course all was following Junko. Which is why they committed mass suicide, even though you didn't. So I don't know which you'd be considered.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see, like, why we were the one person who didn't, you know?
Yeah. We're Makoto's little brother.
No, Makoto had a little sister.
Did he, though?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
You, like, saw a picture of his family. It was
I know, but were they, like, still around after the end of the game?
Oh, that cannot confirm.
Did he, or did he used to have a little sister? Laundry
Hey,
room?
look, it's Junko. Huh? Didn't I walk into a classroom? I don't really get it, but this looks like the laundry room. There's no use worrying about it, but I was in a school and now I'm suddenly in a laundry room. It's Junko. This looks like a tablet computer. It looks like the power is on
Looks like
too.
it's on Facebook?
Is this the next clue? I picked up the tablet and immediately started examining it. Neo World Program. Neo World Program? I love this game. It's my favorite Otome game. I always choose the hot secret agent to be my boy.
Top Secret? It's supposed to be top secret, but they forgot the E.
Or maybe it's the top SCP containment breach document. We're just an SCP. This all is part of the SCP universe. How did we not know this?
I don't know why. But this has happened more to me once now, where I was reading a really good, like one of them was Web2, one of them was fanfiction, whatever, just a couple of really good series. And then it's like actually part of, oh, this is SCP-003. I'm like, why? It doesn't need to be. Just make your own thing.
Because isn't it more fun when it's an SCP? This word, Neo World. I seem to recall hearing it and seeing it a few times already. The Neo World program has another name.
Psychotherapeutic Communications Simulator.
Okay, sure.
The Neo World program has built the most recent psychotherapy technology and administrative software. To develop the Neo World program, individuals such as the Ultimate Programmer, the Ultimate Neurologist, and the Ultimate Therapist
The Ultimate Programmer died in the last game.
were among the many talented people whose research results were utilized. By mounting a device to the cranium, the Neo World program allows the subject to experience a synthetic virtual world. We're just in Sword Art Online!
Well, we were in a simulation all along. Who could have guessed?
I still agree with someone. I don't remember. No, I think it was me that said it. That Sword Art Online is just one of the episodes of Black Mirror that got its own show.
No, that was my coworker that I then told you because I was telling them that we were playing this game, and then I described it to them, and they said, "Oh, that's an episode of Black Mirror."
Oh! I thought I said it with the other friend that I had.
No,
I'm taking credit for it because we can't name that person. Additionally, the Neo World program has another feature. It can replace memories formed in the real world with information contained in the synthetic virtual world. Therefore, it's possible to undo trauma sustained in the real world through the use of virtual worlds. Can we put all of Twitter in this thing? Because the internet needs some help. However, this device is used for psychotherapeutic purposes only. Any other use is expressly forbidden.
By who?
Though it is highly effective in treating brainwashing, which, I mean,
Was part of the first game.
yeah, needed. Abusing the device risks total personality destruction. Also a good band name. Thus, extreme care must be exercised when operating this program.
Well, that explains that.
Slowly, everything around...
Are you Hajime now?
Yes, I'm real world Hajime.
My voice was like this the entire time.
That's because I'm actually 43 in the real world.
Slowly, everything around me turned black. Synthetic virtual world. Program. A feeling of emptiness, like everything is being tainted. I see a blank void and it's all been tainted black. A feeling of weakness, like the world is collapsing beneath my feet. Everything is starting to feel meaningless.
Are we coming out of the cage?
We're not doing just fine. The desperate attempts, the sad goodbyes, the conflicts, the trust I felt until now. It's all disappearing until all I feel is... despair. Ah! I screamed loudly as if I was confirming the sound of my own voice. There's no way I can accept this. I'm starting to accept this. This. There's no way something as crazy as this actually exists.
Nice.
You gotta raise the flags more in order to clear my character roots. Now then, despair is waiting for you.
Impossible! This is impossible! It's all made up! Everything is all made up! Made up?
Of matter!
Including me too? New World program has been added to the Truth Boost section handbook.
And WP. You didn't want to check out the...
If it let me leave, it wasn't important.
How are you doing? Did you enjoy the killing school trip? By the way, do you guys remember the speech I made at the beginning?
No.
From this point on, I promise you a world that truly deserves to be called a game. Woohoo! You guys are the only ones watching this who can save them. The end of the world is nigh. What you gonna do? What's gonna happen? Isn't it exciting? Isn't it heart-throbbing?
Throbbing. It's heart-throbbing.
Do you want me to pronounce the rest of it like it's spelled? Look forward to it.
Woohoo! This hallway. When we first arrived here, I walked down this hallway from the classroom to get to the gym. I don't really see a resemblance, but I'm running through the Matrix.
Do you want to go in any of these
I'm
rooms?
literally running through the Matrix. And something about my pet. It died.
Gale?
What?
Gale!
I didn't do it on purpose!
Do-over.
No, it's an egg. I didn't do it on purpose! I've been too busy preoccupied with the fact that my world is a simulation, and you're worried about a pet that's a simulation in a simulation?
Furious with you. Oh, hi, Sonia.
Sonia!
Well?
Are you familiar with the placebo effect and the nocebo effect? Huh? The placebo effect is when your health improves after taking a fake medicine that you believe is real. And the nocebo effect is the exact opposite, which means as long as the human brain controls all other bodily functions. If the brain believes something is real, it will become real. Why would you bring that up all of a sudden? Huh?
Oh my.
I am not sure. I do not fully understand. What the heck? Monokuma?
The moment you discover that the truth was a lie, all hope will disappear.
Big object.
Renderer will not...
Registered renderer. Is this floating? That's impossible! There's no way something this big would be floating like this. But what in the world is it? And the moment I looked at that object, I got absorbed into the shadow realm!
Is it the door we walked through at the beginning?
Oh, it's oh no, it's is it Chizuru? Is that the name of the programmer?
I don't know.
This is the ultimate
yeah.
program, who is not female.
Yeah, but...
Fujisaki Chizuru, I think is.
Do you want to voice him anyway? Because that looks much more like a you voice than a me voice.
Welcome. Welcome to the Neo World program.
A person? A floating person is talking to me.
How do you look at that and think, oh my gosh, a real human? Why are they floating?
Who is it? No. Is this even a person in the first place?
I'm not quite a person. I'm simply an artificial intelligence program. It would make me happy if you call me Alter Ego.
Aww. Alter Ego was the program in the first game?
So I'm guessing it's the same program.
Yeah.
That is the name my master gave me when he created me.
It can talk! Chihiro. That was their name. Chihiro Fujisaki. But what are you? Alter Ego? Artificial Intelligence Program?
I am the master program behind the Neo World program. I am responsible for creating and overseeing this world. However, only the observer has the authority to directly influence you guys.
That's whoever's Monokuma is?
I can't actually exert much influence. In fact, my existence is one that you don't normally meet. I'm sort of like an apartment manager or something. I may oversee the entire apartment building, but I lack the power to manage individual rooms. But the virus has infected everything I'm supposed to be managing. And because of that, this world I'm managing is acting very peculiar.
Hold My brain can't follow what you're saying. Let me gather my thoughts first. Dang it, it's that feeling from earlier again. This floating feeling, like my feet are hovering above the floor. It's like I can't feel my feet or the ground. Like I can't even believe my own existence. Like I'm Casper, the friendly floating ghost. Hey, you should know, right? Where is this place? Tell me, what is the Neo World program?
The Neo World program has omitted the data collection procedure for shaping the entire world. As such, only the data we collected during the experimental stage is being utilized. Specifically, that means the data detailing Jabberwock Island, where the research facility is located. That is why the previous Jabberwock Island cityscape was restored. Ergo, if I am to answer your question, where is this place? The answer would be mostly Jabberwock Island. Certain portions of it are different depending on the circumstances. For example, this school you're in. It appears this space is entirely under the virus's influence. That's probably why I am appearing before you two. However, even without the virus, these circumstances are a bit unnatural. It seems the launch was rushed, and because of that, there wasn't enough time to collect any data.
Dang crunch.
I'm sorry, I don't really know the circumstances of the outside world. After all, I'm simply the overseer of the Neo World program.
Most of its words. I understood what they meant, but I couldn't understand what was being said. There is no way for me to acknowledge it as the truth. It would make much more sense if this was a fictional world. Wait, are you saying this world is a fictional world? I feel
No, you don't.
like I can't believe what's going on here.
You don't feel at all. This isn't real.
This missing sense of reality. All the mysteries, all the truths. They're really all just fiction. Is that... Even so, I need to know. I need to know what this world is. Hey, can you tell me? Hey, can you tell me? What was the Neo World program used for in the first place?
The Neo World program serves only one purpose. It is used to make the real world a splendid one. I guess you can say it is a program for creating hope.
A program for creating hope? But the fact that we're here, and the fact we don't have our memories, that's all the program's fault, right?
Deleting memory is the first step towards replacing memory. Replacing memory data is one of the features of the Neo World program. With the installed memory control unit, it is possible to remove any time period you set it to. And from there, you upload the memories obtained in the virtual world.
Removing memories of any time period you set it to. So Monokuma was right. We did lose our school memories. But why? Why us? Why were our school memories taken away? There's a reason for that, right?
That is a mystery to me too. Putting the program on the survivors of Hope's Peak Academy while it's still in its experimental stage. I'm sure there was a very good reason. But unfortunately, I don't know what's happening in the outside world. I'm sorry.
Are you saying we're lab rats? That's the only thing I could think of. It sounds like we're just lab rats. The Future Foundation did that to us?
I don't think so.
But they're trying to save the world, right? Or is the Future Foundation not our ally?
I'm sorry, I can't provide that much help. If only I was more reliable, I wouldn't have lost my authority to a virus like this.
All these new words make my head feel like it's about to burst. I don't like big words. I'm more of a dum-dum. I prefer small words. Can you repeat what you just said using itty-bitty tiny words from my dum-dum brain?
Look, can you cat in the hat this and do green eggs and ham? Can you use 50 words total?
Can you tell me more about the Observer and that virus?
Well, for this session, the Neo World program was programmed to house 15 people, along with 2 monitors.
2 monitors?
Yeah, they were disguised as a teacher and one of the students. They were intended to guide the participants in this way. By the way, the observer in the teacher role has been given the authority to influence you all. But the observer in the student role was not. They weren't given any special authority at all, so they seemed the same as everyone else.
What kind of authority does the teacher role have?
As an example, the teacher creates the rules of this world and manages them. If the teacher is properly managing the rules they've created, then there is no risk of abuse. But because of the virus infecting everything, that has changed. It changed this world where violence shouldn't have existed in the first place. The Neo World program would have promised eternal peace. But just like the outside world, it's become a world filled with violence and death.
What is that virus? Is it called
Monokuma?
Monokuma?
I don't really know the details behind its true identity, but that function is beyond my capabilities. No matter how much I try to stop it, it behaves as if it already knows what I'm attempting to do. In the end, it stole the portion of my abilities which create my authority to build the world. It was like it was a grandmaster chess player. I desperately tried to fight back so it wouldn't have complete control. But even so, a portion of the world has been modified at its convenience.
She is probably talking about Monokuma Rock and the Funhouse. Based on what she's saying, it sounds like she's on the receiving end of a one-sided attack. But Alter Ego should be an impressive artificial intelligence that the Future Foundation created. I can tell that just by communicating with her. Which means the supposed virus is so smart that it surpasses this alter ego? If so, does that virus possess an artificial intelligence just like her? Dang it, what the heck? An artificial intelligence waging and waging an attack against another one. That's so freaking irritating. Just like speaking like this for freaking hours.
But how did that virus infect the Neo World program?
The Neo World program exists in isolation. It's impossible it was infected through a network.
So it's whatever Despair Eminent Makoto brought back.
I'm fairly certain someone physically uploaded it.
Physically?
Perhaps someone secretly bought an external memory drive containing the virus into the facility and directly uploaded it into the main computer where the Neo World program is installed.
Dumb idea.
Yes?
Do you think Nagito brought it in Junko's hand?
Junko's hand just was like, I'm gonna hold on to this USB drive, and Nagito was like, alright, random hand, sure!
Oh, I mean, like, he couldn't use it anyway, so, like, inside. Like, as a way of sneaking it in.
Oh. That sounds disgusting, but I mean, I guess it's possible.
I mean, did Azuru... I mean, we assume that Nagito was talking to Azuru. Did they say they had anything? Did they have a box or anything?
I can't remember.
I'm sure we'll find out soon. Sorry, I gotta stop guessing.
Based on my calculations, that's most likely what happened.
It was brought to the Future Foundation's facility, but the only person who could enter that facility is someone who was a member of the Future Foundation. Dang it, what am I thinking? Why am I assuming that what I just heard is the truth? Why am I assuming that everything is a lie?
Observers.
Neo World Program.
See, there was an E.
But it's true that the virus is powerful and that I'm completely overwhelmed by it. But I'm still able to defend the essential areas, so it has a limit too.
A limit?
If it took over an observer, then it has to follow the rules of an observer. Such as, in order to end the program and release everyone, I need to follow the correct procedure.
Hey, come on now.
Okay, even if you're just a god in the machine, that's enough hints from you. If you're gonna say something more, suppose that you exist between life and death. The death of yourself is inevitable. If so, it can be parallel to the deflection based on the definition of existence that constitutes the relationship. From there, the paradigm change results by being cut off rapidly and causes a situation where your own existence is unobservable, and accelerates and crosses with the joint ownership of the world in the situation the context from invites your
More death. Hey!
Death. Death, 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 death.
Constitutes, flux.
That's just what he said before.
Existence, paradigm. Oh my god, it's Makoto! What the heck? What just happened?
You're right there, aren't you? Someone is right there, right?
Huh? Who are you? Are you different from the earlier one? Maybe he can't hear my voice from this side.
I'm currently talking to the world through the alter ego. Ever since you guys vanished into that space, the video feedback has been pretty distorted. But even so, we were forced to watch you this entire time.
Huh?
The things you guys were forced to do, we were forced to watch it.
Forced to watch us?
I really want to save you right away, but because of the virus's interference, I couldn't. Our orders are no longer being accepted, including shutdown requests. The Neo World program is beyond our control now. In that world, that person created an independent country that doesn't have that side interference. But Alter Ego created an opportunity for me to speak to you directly. If this means that's working, then it means that the person I need to talk to is right there, I hope.
It looks like this guy can't even hear me or see me. Just who is this guy anyway? Is he our ally? He also has the antenna, just like me.
Since there's no time, I'm going to say what I need to say and believe you're there listening to me. But first, I should apologize to everyone. I know apologizing won't help, but we didn't imagine something like this would happen. We never expected such an atrocious virus was lurking inside the Neo World program. But that's entirely our fault. It's our responsibility for not realizing it until it was too late. But it's not just the virus either. I can't say for sure that the program didn't have any problems in the first place. To tell you the truth, I was unsure about whether or not to run the program on you guys. But this was the only way to save you all. I wanted to save you guys.
Save us? What did you want to save us from? Why would this save us?
You've already seen the password to enter the graduation exam ground, right? You know, 11037.
11037? That's the number we found at Inzubi Castle.
The door to the ancient ruin was supposed to open after you guys finished gathering all the hope fragments. From there, you guys were supposed to challenge the graduation exam. However, I prepared that password just in case something went wrong. Like I said earlier, I had my doubts that this program was perfect. Even if the chance was slim, I thought the observer might end up going rogue. That's the reason I left that 11037 password in the place where the teacher role would not be able to go. I never thought Nagito, who saw it first, would erase that password. Anyway, I'm also the person who set the password to that number. That number contains a secret. Someone close to me left that number to save me when I was in a dilemma.
In the first game, it wasn't 11307. It was, if you put it upside down, it spells Leon, who was the first murderer.
Oh.
So his friend, who actually tried to get him killed first, or him blamed for the murder first, she got killed instead of the person she was trying to murder. And then, Leon killed her, and she left, and everyone thought it was 11307. But then it was like, no, turn it upside down, and it actually was L-E-O, and then those two ones are actually an N.
That spells Noel.
No. Upside down.
Yeah. 70311. The 7 and the 0 were next to each other.
No. It's 11037.
Yeah,
so
in this one,
down,
have we been reading it wrong? I thought it was 11307. Yep, we've been saying it wrong this whole time.
I mean, you have.
We both have been saying 11307. Oh well. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trusting that you will I'm trusting that will to you all. I've entrusted it to your future. But that person is trying to abuse the graduation exam. I'm sure they are going to crush you with despair using the graduation exam that's waiting for you. But I want you guys to endure it without giving up on hope. I want you guys to withstand it until I get there. Because I have a secret to defeat them.
Does that mean he has a secret plan to defeat Monokuma?
In a worst case scenario where an observer who has the role of a teacher goes rogue, I prepared a hidden command to use at the graduation exam site. It's the forced shutdown sequence.
Forced shutdown sequence?
Even a teacher's authority can't stop that command. It's a way to end this that you guys can choose on your own, independently of the observer. Which means even if they stole the teacher's authority, they shouldn't be able to stop it. If you use that, you guys will win. However, in order to start that forced shutdown sequence, you need more than half the number of people. And in order to do that, I need to somehow get that number.
Askoyayate reminifidehis
Himoyashi Baba death. That. Oh.
Makoto, no!
Death.
And more death will be here on the next episode of Gale and Darling Play Danganronpa 2. Goodbye, despair. See you then. Bye-bye.
Death.
Hi there, it's the end of the video, my friend. Hit the bell if it was okay, I'm sure I'll make good content someday. I'll play some games or do some drawing, Pokemon and fights with Darling, video essays and reviews. I couldn't do it without you, so thanks, like and subscribe.